everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Small Caps. My name is Jess Furtick, and today I have the absolute pleasure of interviewing Alex Hanley, who is the CEO of ASX-listed lithium explorer, Lithium Universe. The ASX ticker code is LU7. Hi, Alex. It's great to have you back on the show.
G'day, Jess. Thanks for having me.
So, Alex, the company just put out a really interesting announcement this week. I thought we could just delve straight in. So talking about lithium conversion gap. So the company's identified a looming gap in lithium conversion capacity in North America specifically. Can you elaborate for our small caps audience on the specific challenges that this presents for battery manufacturers and how the company plans to address those?
Yeah, that's right, Jess. So currently, what the company estimates is that there's about 1,000 gigawatt hours planned to be in capacity or demand through gigafactories and cathode active factories in North America. Now, from a lithium carbonate equivalent perspective, that equates to about 850,000 tonne of lithium carbonate equivalent required to be converted within North America. Now, based on announcements of very similar conversion facilities, what we see is only a currently planned conversion capacity of 100,000 tonnes. So there's a huge deficit, right, between those two numbers. And a huge deficit that we see is a huge opportunity and what we call the lithium conversion gap, essentially. And that is all aligned with the reality of North America wanting to build out the supply chain in North America from mine all the way through to EV manufacturing. So that is overall the biggest sort of the grand plan or the lithium gap, as we call it.
Yeah, brilliant. Now, talking about supply chain, and potential offtake agreements, potentially, your new strategy has outlined potential agreements with original equipment manufacturers or OEMs. Can you elaborate on what this relationship or what this type of relationship could potentially look like?
Yeah. What we're seeing across the market is similar to the recent announcement with Frontier Lithium. Mitsubishi coming in and forming a strategic partnership, let's say, to evaluate the offtake for that mine up in Ontario. Now, that's quite unusual, let's say, an automotive company going all the way upstream to the mine. So there's a lot of steps in between the car manufacturing and the mine itself. What you could probably call the midstream, which is the processing. And so, I suppose our target over the next 8 to 12 months will be really targeting OEMs that are looking who essentially have a similar type of operation to that, where they've gone all the way upstream. They found a mine, they found a lithium supply, and now they're essentially trying to fill that gap. And fill up the conversion capacity gap within their supply chain. And that's what we think or we believe is the biggest value add for our company. And obviously the biggest value add for an OEM is partnering with a team like us and with a very distinct strategy within Quebec in particular.
Yeah, thanks, Alex. And now we've seen in the market, there's been a massive surge in lithium exploration in James Bay, in Canada, specifically. Can you tell us a little bit more about why the company has chosen to focus its strategy over there?
Obviously it's a tier one jurisdiction, right? I don't know, that sort of gets thrown out pretty easily, but with a lot of people, but it really is a tier one jurisdiction, an established mining jurisdiction, and a lot of technical personnel and service providers. So that's number one. So a bit of background, but two is obviously the reality around the real prospectivity and genuine prospectivity of James Bay. Now, over the last 12 months, maybe 18 months, we've seen 100% increase in the global resource numbers within Quebec itself, right? We've seen resource upgrades from Allkem, now Arcadium, with their James Bay project. that's going up to 110 million ton, right? We've seen obviously Patriot Battery Metals with their 109 million ton at 1.4%. And then similarly, just recently with Winston Resources and their near sort of 60 million ton resource up on the Trans-Tyger. Now, that is a 100% increase. And we're also, now I think just the other month we saw the Sayona Moblin project as well. So the flurry of projects are continuing, and what we estimate is in excess of 500 million tonnes, up plus 1% global resource across Quebec. What we see is also 8 distinct projects, possibly 9 or 10 as well, that are really going to feed and really put Quebec on the map, right, in terms of lithium mine supply. That's why we put ourselves on the doorstep of this huge local supply in James Bay. We put ourselves down in Bécancour in a strategic position to make the most of this burgeoning supply coming online over the next couple of years.
That's so interesting, Alex. And now, what is the benefit, or what are the benefits of those companies, providing you spodumene supply?
What they, I suppose, what they get is a supply chain partner in the province of Quebec, right? They're not having to throw the spodumene on a boat and send it to China for processing, which is obviously a very common method. Australia currently, I think all of Australia's spodumene, or near on all of Australia's spodumene, goes to China. 95% of the world's spodumene is processed in China, so they hold a few percent short of a monopoly in the conversion side of things, and bringing those supply chains back into North America, right? Having the whole supply chain, from mine to spodumene to lithium carbonate to the final sort of cathode, as well as the EV itself. Is essential for, well, what the US and Canada are saying is it's a matter of national security is onshoring that supply chain. So they get obviously the benefit of local offtake, not having to fork out the expenses of shipping that all the way around the world.
Yeah, so interesting, Alex. Okay, so now just shifting gears a little bit, looking beyond James Bay. While that region obviously holds a lot of promise, it's still quite a relatively underexplored area. Now, just sort of curiously, is LU7 sort of looking at any other potential opportunities outside of James Bay?
Absolutely. So we positioned ourselves at Bécancour on purpose. We're right next door to the Bécancour port, right? And that goes to the St. Lawrence and opens out to the Atlantic Ocean, right? So we've got exposure to bring in spodumene from all the way through what we call the Atlantic corridor, whether that's from South America through Brazil, or Southern Africa, Zimbabwe, as well as potentially some projects coming online in West Africa. So we've put ourselves, we haven't stranded the refinery location in the middle of Quebec. We put it very strategically along the St. Lawrence for that purpose. And you're quite right. Just the James Bay project, although very, I suppose, let's say hot and real, there's also permitting timelines that we're fully aware of. So over the long term, we obviously see a huge opportunity for local supply chain, and local suppliers of spodumene. But if there is a need to bring spodumene via the St. Lawrence, then we've obviously got the ability to do so.
Yeah, fantastic. Now, talking about ability, you have a tremendous expertise advantage. In your release, you've dubbed your team as the Lithium Dream Team. Can you, for our small caps audience, detail some of the past projects that have demonstrated your team's capabilities, and specifically in terms of constructing lithium converters?
Yeah, so it was actually put quite well when I was in PDAC a couple of weeks ago, and one of the government delegates said, "Oh, it's probably easier just to say you've got a high concentration of lithium expertise." And I said, "Okay, so we'll go with that as a bit of a headline."
I love it.
But we've obviously got we've got Iggy Tan as our chairman, obviously ex-Galaxy. He built the Mount Cattlin project, as well as the Jiangsu lithium carbonate plant. We've got Pat Scallon, who operated and expanded quite significantly the Greenbushes operation here in WA, as well as Jingwan Liu, who's considered to be a downstream expert in carbonate or hydroxide conversion. He's consulted for over 25 different conversion facilities across the world, whether it's Asia, Europe, or flow sheet design in the Americas. So we've got obviously a very focused skill set at board level, but we've also got a number of proponents within our team, whether that's Terry Stark, former Galaxy GM of operations, John Loxton, ex-Hatch Engineering, who actually built and commissioned the Jiangsu plant for Iggy back in Galaxy days. And then we've got, similarly, we've got Roger Pova, who operated both the concentrator at Greenbushes and at Mount Cattlin. So we've got obviously this highly concentrated lithium expertise within our team, and not many teams or companies at our market cap can boast that experience level.
No, absolutely, Alex. Now, from a macro perspective, how will LU7's involvement in the lithium conversion process contribute to, or potentially contribute to, reducing North America's dependence, particularly on China's current processing advantage?
Yeah, I alluded to it earlier, but the reality of, let's say, I think they say it friendshoring or aligning with countries that share our values is how it's sort of placed. But we've seen recent action, back all the way back to sort of late 2022 when Lithium-Ion were asked to divest from Power Metals Corp. Now, Lithium-Ion is a Chinese owned company. So that was the first time that words went into actions, and we saw that divestment actually be carried out. Now we've seen two further cases earlier this year of Chinese companies are being asked to divest from Canadian critical minerals companies. So this is an ongoing trend, and it's very real. So not only that, is that there's also a push for spodumene to not leave the shores of Canada or North America, and for that to be processed within the North American continent. So this is these are all let's say tailwinds in addition to the overarching strategy and the EV macro that continues to surge. For us, in particular, being focused on lithium carbonate as a point of difference, we see a very strong push towards LFP batteries. Now, a recent report was that over 60% of EVs that came out of China or were manufactured in China last year were LFP battery orientated EVs. Now, in perspective, the precursor lithium chemical that goes into LFPs is lithium carbonate, not hydroxide. So that's the sort of the difference between the two. But it's going to sort of obviously ebb and flow between hydroxide and carbonate, and producing battery grade lithium carbonate is also a big point of difference for us in North America. So there's a lot of geopolitical tailwinds, obviously a huge macro EV push, and we're right at the front of it.
Yeah, fantastic, Alex. Now, I know we've spoken a lot about the positives that you guys are doing and this new strategy, your team, but I just have one final question just to sort of sum it up for our audience. Can you provide us with just 2 or 3 key investment takeaways as to why investors should put LU7 on their investor stock watch list?
I think the widening lithium conversion gap in North America is very good justification and a very strong business proposition for the company. From I suppose, foundation level, we've obviously got a concentration of lithium expertise in the dream team, and the overall strategy with the Quebec Lithium Processing Hub strategy. So we tick all the boxes. If I can put number 4 in there, obviously it's we're obviously on the doorstep of James Bay with that huge supply coming online in the next couple of years. So we're well placed. We've got a good team and a sound strategy.
Fantastic, Alex. Well, thank you so much for joining us again. It's always great to have you on the show and to catch up and have a chat about what the company is doing. It's quite remarkable given the company hasn't even been listed for a full year yet and already keeping so many goals. So congratulations, Alex, and look forward to having you back on soon.
Thanks, Jess. A pleasure.